that dopamine is supposed to communicate between different neurons. It's like something which is responsible in talking when neurons talks with each other, and their job is somehow compromised over the period of time. It is like neurons are not very much able to talk with each other comfortably over the period of time. So that's a problem, and it's natural wear and tear, as I explained you guys in case of cancer. It was so natural. Naturally, wear and tear will lose the control on the machinery of the cells. Similarly, with the passage of time, we lost control and we lost the structures of neurons as well. And of course, we are not able to communicate between the cells. The dopamine was not enough to take the message from one neuron to another. And that actually resulted in the less control on different functions, especially on the motor functions. The people will not be able to, move their hands comfortably. They are like their hands are vibrating and not in very much control. And that is because of the loss in the communication between the neurons. So the company has created a drug. Remember, the name of the drug was different. I don't know, maybe Sarah, something like that. That was the name of the drug. Company can use any name of the drug of their own choice. They can put me as the name of the drug as well, or you, or their own kids, whatever they want to. So that was the name of the drug. But the drug was actually inserting another gene, and that gene is the nurturing. So the name of the gene with the drug is incorporating is nurturing. And then the output is that the cells will grow their wings, they will start touching each other, their dendrites are stronger, and they will be able to communicate better with the enhanced production of dopamine. Okay, so thank you very much for that. That was about from the last lecture. And let's move to the conclusive or more, I must say, a sensitive portion of the gene therapy, where I would like to address the questions, concerns which you guys are having in your mind about the gene therapy. You guys needs to know about different types of viral vectors. I have explained one of the viral vectors to you, that how the viral vectors are used to incorporate material right within the cells. There are adenoviruses, there are retroviruses, and then there are adeno-associated viruses. They are herpes simplex viruses, because it was well-studied virus and it was used for this purpose. And they have their own good points and own bad points, depending on the nature of the species you are working on, depending on the nature of the cells you are working on. And that is an expertise you will going to develop, that which version of retroviruses are better to use. What I was showing you earlier, they are called as, what I was showing you, that was about the lentiviruses. The lentiviruses has different generation. When you are studying the papers and articles, you will come to know it was written the first generation, second generation, and third generation lentiviruses. So the first generation, second generation, and the third generation of lentiviruses, these different generation actually because of the difference in their safety measures, or better controls, or incorporation of different important ingredients in the vector. So let me summarize that thing for you. It's quite very important for you as a researcher, as a scientist, that you should know what is the best tool to send things right within the genome. But your questions and objections about the gene therapy, which you have raised in the earlier class, was absolutely perfect. That where that external DNA will be incorporated into the genome, and what are the troubles and problems might be associated with gene therapy. Those questions were valid. Okay, but first see how we can send the things right within the human genome. So the retroviruses or any other viruses or the lentiviruses, they have different, I must say, important fragments of the. Somebody is having a microphone turn on and doing other things. Ali Salim, if you are around, please mute your microphone, or I can do this job for you. Okay. So the first thing is that the lentiviruses you have studied, they have a different fragment from this region. For example, from this region to this region, that portion is utilized to incorporate material or send things right within the human genome. Remember, the human genome has different chromosomes. It's quite different from the bacterial genome. It's present within the nucleus. I'm not talking about all those complexities. It may be chromosome 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, chromosome 21, X chromosome, Y chromosome, who knows? There are lots of different, large number of chromosomes out there. And those chromosomes are made up of DNA strands. So a lentivirus vector carrying the LTR regions, this is one of the way, 5' LTR and then the 3' LTR. I told you that in human genome, the LTR sequences are naturally present in our genome. And those LTR or repeat sequences are the reason that different fragments of our genome can change their places, can switch, can jump from one place to another, and then from other place to another. This thing is more famously called as the jumping genes. So they are able to do this thing because of the presence of those repeating units. So scientists has harvested that potential of LTRs and put those LTRs into a vector. And then they create things in such a way. There are, of course, antibiotic markers are out there. There are other, remember, those antibiotic markers are not the ones which we use in bacteria. They should be different because we are using it in human cells. There are multi-cloning site over there. So we will going to insert something in this multi-cloning site or MCS. What we will be putting here, in case of Parkinson disease, and the example we have studied in the last class, or I have explained at the start of the class, we will going to insert the nurturing gene, So I will be inserting the nurturing gene right into the multi-cloning site, and I will create that lentivirus vector. Of course, I have more things in this vector to explain, but just for our class context, I have added this nurturing gene in the multi-cloning site. Now this cassette is ready, which is available to incorporate into the genome. Now all I need is a mechanism to send this thing right within the cytoplasm. I put them into a lipid layer using the chemicals. Different types of chemicals are used. I'm just naming one of them, transfectin. And the process is called as transfection. The process is called as transfection. First, that thing or vector is landed across the cell membrane and it landed in the cytoplasm. This transfectin helps this vector to survive within the cytoplasm because cytoplasm is not a very nice place to live for any nucleic acids. There are restriction enzymes which will going to destroy all the DNA and free nucleic acids present within the cytoplasm. The next thing is that this will going to help to enter into the nucleus. So now imagine we are within the nucleus. The genome is present in front of this thing. And what that thing is, this thing is made up of LTR, 5' LTR, 3' LTR, and then this thing from here to here, this is our gene of interest. This is the nurturing gene we want to incorporate within the human genome. So using these similar sort of things, when the natural process of jumping genes was going on, so that genes or these places are like going to change their localities within the genome. When these two things are present together, one of the possibilities that the external DNA will be incorporated into the genome. So the next structure of the genome will be like that. This is the LTR coming from there. This is the nurturing gene you have incorporated, and this is the LTR, this one. If this is the 3', this is the 5'. Let's suppose this is the 5', this is the 3'. So you have incorporated the LTR region here based on the similarity of those repeating units. And that is only possible if you put them together for a certain period of time. You need to make sure that the viral vector should be strong enough to penetrate the cell membrane. You should be able to you should make sure that you survive within cytoplasm. And last but not the least, you should give them enough time that the cells can incorporate that external DNA. So one of the thing the designers are using is LTR region. It is more efficient. Earlier, the people are using homologous recombination factor. Homologous recombination is that you put two types of DNA together having a similar sequence, they will going to exchange their fragments. That is homologous recombinations. But the efficiency was too low. But in this case, because of the LTR region, the chance of incorporation of that stuff is increased. So those cells who have incorporated this external gene, they have incorporated the external gene right within their genome, and that will going to be part of their chromosome. It will be transferred to the next cells and the next cells and the next cells. And it will keep doing the job. If this thing is failed to incorporate, into the genome, that structure of the viral vector will be destroyed after some time. Our cellular machinery present in the cytoplasm will going to destroy that thing. Hope this explains a lot of questions in your mind. Sarim, आपने हाथ kindly Sarim ने hand raise किया था. I think उसका सवाल अगर
सर मेरा क्वेश्चन सर एड्रेस तो नहीं हुआ, लेकिन वो क्वेश्चन ये था कि थोड़ा सा हटके था कि हम लोग ये इनकॉर्पोरेशन से पहले इसको इम्पोर्टेंट भी तो बनाते हैं वायरस को, तो हमने वो नहीं किया अभी.
नहीं हमने नहीं किया, हमने I told you that this ribosome, this thing is this thing. Yes, the vector is not able to produce virus particles. They are just the vector which has the characteristics of the viral vectors, the characteristics and the theme and the strategies used by the virus. So we have incorporated the strategies, but we do not put all the components of viruses. Okay. जी आयशा ने हैंड रेज किया. जी आयशा, आप काइंडली पूछिए.
Sir, so can you please explain when the lipid layer around our vector gets removed?
It consumed.
And how?
It's consumed, not moved. It's consumed. Okay. The lipid layer helps the things to.
Sir, could you explain this part?
Okay. I think I have. Anyways, let me try. So the cell membrane is a lipid bilayer structure. It does not allow anything which is hydrophilic in nature. I hope you understand that much chemistry. Okay. So if a nucleic acid or a vector will try to penetrate the cell membrane, it will be stuck. Because the outer layer is hydrophobic, it will repel. Or if somehow it is able to penetrate here, the inner part is hydrophilic, it stays here, it's stuck here, it will not going to pass on the cell membrane. This is a natural chemistry. So what the scientists are doing, they are creating a lipid layer around the vector to make it transpectable, to make it able enough to pass through this hydrophobic environment. So once it is passed into the cytoplasm, that stuff is dissolved with the actions and the things present in the cytoplasm. It will be dissolved and the viral vector will be free to start available for the incorporation. Every step has its own limitation. When you try to insert that stuff here, 20, 30, 40% viral vectors are lost here. Some of them managed to reach into cytoplasm. Many of them was destroyed by the cytoplasm. Some of them able to enter into the nucleus. Those who are able to enter into the nucleus, many of them fail to integrate. Only some of them are able to integrate. So at the end of the day, the efficiency is lost in every step. And it's a very painstaking job to send something right within the genome from the outside. Hope this answered the question. Or you can ask again if you have it.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. You are asking about the technical details. That is very nice. I mean, these are sweet. I mean, मैंने भी और कुछ नहीं बताया आपको जो मुझे नहीं बताना चाहिए. I want you guys to browse and study and try to see this, to address this question. That is very important. Let me try to give you an idea of that complexity, that how people are creating that stuff. So we understand in bacteria that what we call as transformation when we send the plasmids into the bacteria. In case of bacteria, it is much easier because there is no defined chamber like nucleus, so we don't need to penetrate that much. So if the vector is able to enter into the cytoplasm, that might be good enough to execute the job. In case of virus production, producing viruses for the good, What people are doing, they are using special cells, which are very good in taking up materials, which are very good in translation. And most of the people, they are using HEK cell lines, human epithelial keratinocyte, something like that. Okay, HEK cells in the nucleus and cell membrane. Then what they are doing, they thought about the viruses, their structure. Think about it. The first thing is genetic material. It is called as viral genome. It's called as viral genome. The other thing is code material. There are different proteins present around this, genetic material. And then there are envelope protein, the outside protein. So different proteins as well as the viral genome. So virus is made up of two things. One is the genome plus the other is the proteins. Of course, these proteins also come from a DNA. Am I right? These proteins can be created from the DNA as well. But one virus is made up of these two things, the genome and the proteins. Coronavirus is made up of like spike proteins and other proteins. What scientists are doing, they actually studied this material and then fractured these things into different components, into three vectors. They generate three vectors, three plasmids. One of the plasmid is responsible to send the genome of the virus. Now, this is not the complete genome of the virus. For example, the wild type virus genome is this one. It contains different genes, and you can guess those genes are responsible for the creation of the viral coat proteins and other proteins present in the virus. But what scientists are doing, they have edited the viral genome. They skip some of them, they delete some of the genes, and they create an altered or a mutated version of viral genome. And they add another fragment as well. And this fragment is provided by humans, which we want that virus to take right within the cells. So instead of the viral genes here, we are providing the external genes or external sequences, which we want to be incorporated. So let's suppose these genes are responsible to trigger, because the virus production within the cells require the sequential production of different proteins. पहले ये protein बनेगी, फिर ये बनेगी, फिर ये बनेगी, फिर ये बनेगी. So let's suppose these are those couple of proteins which are required to trigger, the sequence of creating viral proteins. So you have mutated those proteins. Either you can create mutation here, or you can delete those proteins completely, whatever, which helps the bacteria to exist without the capacity to produce more viruses, to exist without the capacity to produce more viruses. So one of the vector is this one. The other vector is containing other type of proteins. For example, the proteins which are present here. Okay, let's name them the protein 1. Then another plasmid which is carrying another proteins called protein 2, or it is called as envelope protein. This one is called, let's suppose, called as coat protein, or whatever you can name them. So there are different types of proteins and a genome. The genome is present here. The sequence of the DNA which can produce the coat protein is present here in this plasmid. The sequence of the DNA which can produce the envelope protein is present here in this plasmid. Let's name these plasmids. The name of the plasmid is A, this one is B, and this one is C. What we are doing, we are sending these three plasmids together in this one cell. It's very difficult. I mean, putting those three. We are engineering A. We are engineering only A. In your lab, you are engineering the A to incorporate the gene X. In another lab, people are engineering the A to incorporate gene Y or gene Z or whatever they want to incorporate. So this is the only thing you need to engineer to put different things. But that will ultimately going to be what? That will ultimately going to be part of the viral genome. वो जो virus बनने जा रहा है उसका genome बनेगा. Anyways, you put these three plasmids. This one carries the sequence of the DNA which will going to produce the coat protein. The C vector is carrying the sequence of the DNA which will going to produce the envelope protein. And this will be going to produce the viral genome. If these three plasmids are able to be transfected equally, comfortably in one cell, the cell will start utilizing the sequences present on these three vectors. If one of them is missing, the cell will not going to produce the things. Now guess what will happen? The B will be translated, the answer is yes. The C will be translated, the answer is yes. Look at the next structure. What will be the next situation in the cell? So this is the nucleus. When the C, B and C will be translated, they will going to create the viral structures and internal coat proteins as well as the envelope proteins. And the A will going to be, it's a DNA, it's going to be like the viral genome. It will enter into these coat proteins. And this will going to be our new engineered virus. This new engineered viral particle. That viral particle will be released into the media. And we will going to harvest that engineered virus. If you ask me, if that virus is sent to human cells, so this is the human cells, can this virus has a potential to penetrate the human cell? The answer is yes, it can penetrate. Can it reach the nucleus? The answer is yes, it will going to reach to the nucleus. If you ask me what material it will be delivering, that will going to deliver this stuff which you have engineered, this stuff, including the gene which you want to incorporate. And that gene will going to be part of the human genome. If you ask me whether this viral incorporation will result in the production of new virus, the answer is no. Because the production of new virus required the sequence production of these genes, and these genes were not there. You have deleted those genes. So that is how you engineer things to make the virus impotent. They're only able to deliver the material you are incorporating and not able to produce the virus itself. We have two people who have raised their hands. I don't know किसने पहले raise किया था. So Tahreem, please, you can raise, you can start asking your question.
Sir, if the A, B, and C are inserted into the cell with the irregular sequence, will it able to be form the virus there?
Yeah, that's exactly I'm telling you. If A, B, and C, आपने क्या statement use किया? Please repeat the statement.
सर वो A, B, C incorporate वो irregular sequence में cell के अंदर, so will they be able to form the virus there?
I don't understand irregular sequence का मतलब क्या है कि I mean it does not matter पहले कौन आ रहा है. आपका irregular sequence का मतलब ये है कि पहले कौन आएगा बाद में कौन आएगा. It does not matter.
Yes,
All we have, one of the vector will going to produce one type of protein, the other vector will going to produce another type of protein, and the third vector is giving the viral genome. If the other two proteins are there, they will capture the viral genome, and that will going to be a viral particle. So we are using HEK cells to produce virus, but that virus is not good enough to replicate and produce more viruses. That virus is good enough to infect and then penetrate into the nucleus and then able to deliver the payload and then send the material you have created. इस केस में आपको कितना आसानी है. You don't need to use the lipids and other materials. All you need to do is to create the viruses and use the virus potential to penetrate the cell membrane. Don't need to use the lipid membrane. Pfizer ने ये किया है. I will ask you to do things and work on. I will give you an assignment on that thing. That they have created the RNA and then they created the double layer of membrane so that the RNA should be able to penetrate the cells, able to deliver the payload. So they have to create. Otherwise, the viruses are good enough. They can take the things. Ji, next, Aisha ji, aap puchiye.
Sir, which technique are we using to deliver the plasmid within the HEK?
plasmids are used to, there are a lot of commercial options. जैसे आपने सुना होगा जब आप लोग इस्तेमाल करते हैं बैक्टीरियल प्लाज्मिड्स को डिलीवर करने के लिए, you use इलेक्ट्रिक शॉक्स, ऐसे करके बैक्टीरिया को झंझोड़ देते हैं इलेक्ट्रिकल करंट देकर, और हीट शॉक देके to increase the pore size so the plasmid should get in. It's quite simple over there. But in case of human cells, the problem is the double membranous lipid bilayer that does not allow the things to go in. So at that time, you need other supporting material, like you need some material which can envelop your stuff, your plasmid. So if you want to send a DNA into the chromosome, there are certain commercially available options are out there. I just name one of them, transfectin. You can Google the other. So there are lipid molecules which are used to make the little small lipid bubbles, which can take the DNA and push the DNA to enter into the cytoplasm. Otherwise, nucleic acid will never be able to pass the cell membrane. You know, if you understand the hydrophilic, hydrophobic nature, lipid bilayer will not allow nucleic acids to pass on. Otherwise, तो सारे bacteria, viruses दौड़ के जाएं cell membrane.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Okay, any other question? I'm sure this will going to help you to understand things. So there are a lot of application. I want you guys to go through these things. I want you guys to take it as a topic and spend like 10 to 15 minutes and Google and YouTube these things and to see how it is helping in curing diseases. But to cure a disease in the next generation, you understand, we have to fix the things at a zygote level or a single cell level. That's also I want to explain how people are doing this thing. In an organism level. Okay, we are trying to correct cancer genes. Cancer is a polygenic problem, so it may be because of the multigenic factors. So we can try to fix to remove the errors in our stars, so our next generation will have a less chance to develop cancer. So you can use the viral, the most dangerous of the virus of all time. We heard the HIV virus. People have used the HIV virus and their potential to penetrate the cells and then use that potential to send the good things to the cells. We can create stem cells and somatic cells. One technical trouble I want to explain you more further. I think this is going to be a very technical session for gene therapy. I wish it will going to help and broaden your mind to understand things in a better way. I wish. So how we able to send the things to the organism, to a complete organism? So gene therapy, to fix an error, not to increase the capacity of human being. Okay, for the next generation, how people are doing this, because one zygote is very vulnerable. It can be lost during the analysis, during the job, and the efficiency is too low. I told you how much it's not possible to have the things done in one go. Every step is like decreasing our efficiency. So what people are doing is that people put the sperm and egg in vitro. They allow them what we call as a test tube baby. They create a zygote over there. After that, they allow that zygote to grow like for a certain cell stage, for a 2-cell stage, 4-cell stage, 8-cell stage, 60-cell stage. And all of the cells which are constituting the zygote at that time, it is possible that they can survive in the lab. They can survive in the laboratory. But for that thing to survive in the laboratory, you need very extraordinary conditions to maintain for a certain period of time. pH, medium conditions. If something is just went wrong, you can guess that this thing will going to differentiate into something weird. It's not the mother's womb. So the conditions should be kept constant and should be monitored extensively to hold and keep those stem cells. And these cells are called as the stem cells. And more accurately, these are called as the embryonic stem cells. The embryonic stem cells. You might also heard that in case of blastula, you might also remember that in case of blastula, there are the cells present which are called as inner cell mass. Inner cell mass. I will going to explain these things in detail. हमने stem cell को separately as a topic पढ़ना है. Inner cell mass. This is called as inner cell. All these things are also the stem cells. But I'm talking what we are doing in the laboratory to fix the errors in humans, next generation. So this is like too distant as a stage. Here, few cell stage, 8, 16, 32 cell stage. All cells are stem cells. What that mean? If I said all cells are stem cells, that means each one of the cell, if placed in the womb of a surrogate mother, that one cell is able to produce a baby. Each one of those cells. If there are like 32 cells, if you separate those 32 cells placed in 32 surrogate mom's body, all these 32 cells will going to produce 32 babies. Identical, 100% genetically identical twins will be produced. Not twins, but I don't know 32 ko kya kehte hain. Is there 32? You can have 32 clones out there. Each one of them, one of the cell is capable of producing a complete baby because it's a stem cell. Now what people are doing at this stage, they put it into the dish, the zygote at this cell with a lot of stem cells. They separate those cells. They are embryonic stem cells, very special. And actually they are live. They separate them and then they do their experiment. You know what was their experiment? Tell me. They do their experiment. They incorporate the viral vectors. They incorporate the viral vectors. The viral vectors will going to be part of the genome of one of the cell. It might not be part of the genome of another cell. So let's suppose if there is a 50% efficiency, which is too much, we also add certain markers to make sure to confirm the presence of viral vectors in the host cells. हम पता लगाने के लिए external markers भी send करते हैं. So हमें पता लगेगा किसके अंदर वायरस का particle और वायरस vector incorporate हो गया और किस में नहीं हुआ. So let's suppose out of those embryonic cells, these are the embryonic cells जिसको मैं mark कर रहा हूँ, are the ones which has incorporated the virus. They have incorporated the virus, and these are the embryonic cells, stem cells, which are failed to incorporate the virus. We can have certain markers to do this. Now what we are doing, we will taking out this thing, we will grow its number. I will tell you why we are growing this number. We don't need to grow this number. We are growing its number. We check one of them, some of them, to analyze the presence of external gene. उनमें से एक को निकाल के check करते हैं, external gene is okay. We analyze the other to see whether it is fully functional stem cell, it is capable of becoming the baby. And then we use one of them to be incorporated into the womb of a surrogate mom. Connected. So one of the cell is used to be placed into a surrogate mom's body, and the surrogate mom's body considered that thing as a zygote, start nurturing or nourishing that thing, and eventually it will become a baby. Now each and every cell of that baby is made up of, of that one single cell. It comes from there. So each and every cell of this baby is made up of this cell, and that cell, you have already confirmed it that this cell contains the external gene you have incorporated into the genome. So that is how you might be able to send the correct version of the gene into the cell of each cell of the baby. Okay, hope this answers the question. If you have anything to ask, I can answer those things. Ji Sarim, if you need to ask.
If each cell can form a separate, individual, wouldn't they form clones? And
I don't know who is speaking. Sarim, you are supposed to speak. If someone else is speaking something.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Sarim.
सर आई वांटेड टू आस्क के हमें कैसे पता चलेगा हमने कौन सी जीन इनकॉर्पोरेट करनी है, कौन सा डिजीज होगा, और मतलब जो होने वाला बच्चा होगा उसको कौन से डिजीजेस होंगे, तो हमने उस हिसाब से कोई
नहीं ये
इनकॉर्पोरेट करनी है हमने.
नो ऐसे नहीं है सारे, ये थेरेपी है. थिंक अबाउट थेरेपी. ओके, थेरेपी का मतलब ये है कि यू नो अ प्रॉब्लम, you know that there is an error in one of the gene. You know there is a very important gene, but there is an error in that gene. Sickle cell anemia, for example.
Yes, sir.
And that baby will not going to survive until unless कि आप क्या करें कि आप इसको सिंगल सेल स्टेज के ऊपर इसके अंदर इस फॉल्टी जीन को रिप्लेस कर दें, या इसके अलावा एक और जीन लगा दें जिसके अंदर करेक्ट जीन होगा. That is the thing. Therapy means
Yes.
that you know the error.
Okay.
You are not putting or creating a better baby. This is unethical. So there is an
Okay.
error, and you
Okay.
want that baby to live. But the real question which I have addressed is that how that one single cell is able to use for the
Yes, sir, वो आ गई
experimental
समझ।
purposes. तो आप क्या करेंगे, आप इसको मल्टी सेल स्टेज पे ले जाएंगे, ओके, मल्टी सेल स्टेज के ऊपर ले जाएंगे, मेक इट एन एम्ब्रियोनिक स्टेम सेल्स, एंड देन यूजिंग दोज एम्ब्रियोनिक, एंड देन एक्सपेरिमेंट करेंगे इन एम्ब्रियोनिक सेल्स के ऊपर.
जी सर, वो आ गई समझ।
Experiment in all those embryonic cells. You put things.
Sir, we can use this therapy to cure thalassemia.
Yes.
Such as in cousin marriages, there are a lot of complications.
Yes, you are right.
So instead of going for conceiving it directly, we can go for gene
Yes,
therapy so that there is no chance of abnormality in the child.
Yes, you're right. We can use it. But I wish to understand the level of complexity and trouble that we need to design the vector which can successfully incorporate the error. But if there is a problem which is because of the errors of 4 genes or 5 genes or 7 genes, we are doomed in this case. Most of the diseases and biological phenotypes, the troubled biological phenotypes, are not because of one gene. We might be very lucky if the error is because of one gene only. Okay, the point which there are 2 people जिन्होंने हाथ रेस किया हुआ है, इसके बाद मौजम की बारी है, फिर नेहा की बारी है. But let me answer this thing once again. This is a very critical point to understand, that how we able to execute that function. So one cell, multi-cell stage, and then we do our experiments. Some of the cells will incorporate the vector, some of the cells will not. The cells which are able to incorporate the vector, we take those cells out, we increase its number, we analyze those cells for the presence of our gene of interest, a corrected copy of the gene, and after that use some of them for analysis, and then use one of them to put the thing into the womb of the mom, and then that will going to develop into a baby, and each cell of that baby will accommodate the external gene. I can tell you this experiment is going on in mammals, in all sorts of mammals. It's going on in horses, in monkeys, in chimps, and in most of the chimps and primates. It's going on in rabbits. Mouse ke upar to ye daily basis ke upar hote hain, and people develops expertise of doing that expertise in dealing with the embryonic stem cells. Their expertise in putting the thing and sending the things right within the embryonic stem cells. They are wonderful, and they are wonderful in using that embryonic cells and stem cells to create the next version of life or the next life. So we are very good in all these things. Okay, there is no need to write the name and ID at this time. Just let me ask that thing. Ji, 2 more questions. Mozam, आपने कोई question करना है, please कर दीजिए.
Sir, ये kindly can you go back to the previous slides? जो पिछली थी उससे भी पिछली.
Okay. ये वाली पे?
No, इससे पहली वाली. Yes, sir, ये नहीं. Yes, ये वाली. सर इसमें मैं थोड़े से स्टेप्स को कंफ्यूज कर रहा हूँ. आप सिर्फ एक पॉइंट बता दें कि हमारे पास ये स्टेम सेल लेंगे पहले या क्या एक इंडिविजुअल होगा, तो मतलब शुरू से जो है ना एक पॉइंट्स में स्टेप बता दें.
आप बताएंगे. मौजम इधर ही रहा मेरे साथ. मौजम कैमरा है तो कैमरा लगा ले, कैमरा ऑन कर.
अच्छा सर, सबसे पहले कैमरा सर नहीं ऑन है.
तो यार कैमरा रखा करो ऐसे मौके पे. ओके, दैट विल हेल्प यू. जो मैं कह रहा हूं मेरी बात याद रखना, दैट विल गोइंग टू हेल्प यू. ओके, वो सियाने आखदे उस्ताद दा आख्या ते ओलियां दा खादा बाद चो पता लगदा है. इन देयर समटाइम्स यू विल केम टू नो आफ्टर दिस इज मैटर्स. चलो कोई गल नहीं, खैर है. ओके, लेट मी स्टार्ट. मौजम, आर यू रेडी?
यस.
ओके, आप टीच करेंगे.
सबसे पहले
आप टीच करेंगे, मैं ड्रॉ करूंगा. मुझे इसका कलर चेंज करने दो अगर मुझे आता है तो. एंड जस्ट बिफोर I'm sorry, just stay there and forget it अगर उसमें कोई गलती होती है. ओके, मुझे वो नहीं मिल रहा. Anyways, I'm using the black one. Okay, जी मौजम स्टार्ट करो. This is the first step. क्या किया था मैंने यहाँ पे?
सर हमारे पास एक स्पर्म है और एग सेल है.
नेचुरल प्रोसेस है ना?
फर्टिलाइज
नेचुरल प्रोसेस है ना? ओके, तो नेचुरल प्रोसेस से कंसीव हुआ.
ये नेचुरली भी कर सकते हैं, आर्टिफिशियली भी कर सकते हैं हम.
बट व्हेन नेचुरली में क्या होगा कि व्हेन द zygote is developed, it will proceed further natural. आगे चला जाएगा. तो अगर हम इसको
तो
लेबोरेटरी में करेंगे, इट्स इन आवर हैंड्स, इन आवर कंट्रोल। ठीक हो गया?
उसके बाद जायगोट है, जायगोट लेवल पे हमें अब डिजीज का पता है कि हमें कौन सी डिजीज को क्योर करना है।
So we allow
तो
zygote to divide, okay, to produce more cells,
यस
okay, and then all of
एम्ब्रियो
those cells are stem cells.
यस अब हेमाटोपोइटिक स्टेम सेल्स एम्ब्रियोनिक स्टेज में चले गए हैं सेल्स,
नहीं,
उसमें से हम
हेमाटोपोइटिक स्टेम
सेल्स
सेल्स और होते हैं। हेमाटोपोइटिक स्टेम सेल्स वो बड़ी बाद में आने हैं। दे आर ओरिजिनल एम्ब्रियोनिक स्टेम सेल्स। मैंने बतौर खास लफ्ज इस्तेमाल किया। क्या है? क्या वर्ड है?
प्योर
एम्ब्रियोनिक स्टेम।
embryonic stem
ये
cells.
अब्बू हैं, ये अब्बू जी हैं उसके हेमाटोपोइटिक स्टेम सेल्स के। ओके, this is the one which can give rise to complete baby. Each one of them have the potential to give rise to baby. Okay, शाबाश। Okay, good.
ओके जायगोट से हमने सेल्स डिवाइड हुए एम्ब्रियोनिक स्टेज में गए, उसमें से हमने सेल्स को एक्सट्रैक्ट किया और लैब में लेंगे फिर।
जी जी, वैसे तो ये सारा कुछ लैब में ही हो रहा है, आई मीन, बट इसको हम एक्सपेरिमेंट में ले गए। जी
यस, उन सेल्स को लैब में लेके फिर इसके बाद सर समझा
उसमें
दें
हमने वायरल
डिवाइड
वेक्टर
करना
इनकॉर्पोरेट
हमने।
किए ना, उसमें हमने वायरल वेक्टर इनकॉर्पोरेट किए।
अच्छा ओके।
वायरल वेक्टर इनकॉर्पोरेट किसी में हुआ होगा, किसी में नहीं हुआ होगा। इसमें हो गया, इसमें नहीं हुआ।
हाँ
ठीक है, तो जिसमें वायरल
ठीक।
वेक्टर इनकॉर्पोरेट होगा उसको हम ले लेंगे, उसको हम अगले स्टेज पे ले जाएंगे। वी चेक देम, हम उसको स्टडी करेंगे, उनमें से कुछ एक को ग्रो करके कि यार इसके अंदर वायरस वेक्टर कंफर्टेबली चला गया। वी विल सी वेदर द एक्सटर्नल डीएनए इज इनकॉर्पोरेटेड, एंड देन इफ एवरीथिंग इज yes, then we can use this one for the next stage. And what is the next stage? This one cell is capable of producing a baby. अगर हम इसको प्लेस कर दें सरोगेट मॉम की वूम के अंदर, तो क्या होगा? दैट विल बी कंसीव्ड एज जायगोट।
तो सर जायगोट तो पहले से भी मौजूद था ना उधर?
नहीं ना, सरोगेट मॉम का मतलब ये होता है अ मॉम व्हिच इज नॉट हैविंग अ जायगोट बट दैट मॉम इज फीलिंग प्रेग्नेंट। ठीक है,
लेकिन वो पिछला जो ओरिजिनल जायगोट था वो तो डेवलप हो जाएगा।
ये जो सरोगेट मॉम बनाना होता है ना, ये इंजेक्शन से, हार्मोन से हम बना सकते हैं बाहर से। ठीक है, हम वो माहौल बना सकते हैं उसको। जी नेहा, आपका क्वेश्चन, देन आई विल।
Yes, sir. So I'm confused about one thing, that, for example, we want to treat a disease that is associated with a single organ. Like, for example, it's a liver disease. So we only want that gene to be expressed in the liver cells. But when we have the stem cell with that gene, then every cell of the body will have that new gene. So does this mean that it will be expressed only in the liver cells or in every cell of the body?
वो बल्ले बल्ले, मैं खुशी में बंद करने लगा। यार शाबाश, सो वंडरफुल क्वेश्चन, वंडरफुल छा गए अब आज। क्वेश्चन ऑफ द डे, आई थिंक मे बी फ्रॉम जब से हमने कोर्स शुरू किया है।
सर रिपीट कर दें कुछ?
मैं एक्सप्लेन करता हूँ। हाँ, मैं एक्सप्लेन करता हूँ। सवाल बहुत मजेदार है, आप सबको सवाल समझ आना चाहिए, जो आपकी खैर है। ओके, द आंसर डज नॉट मैटर, सवाल समझ आना चाहिए। द क्वेश्चन इज दैट इन आवर बॉडी देयर आर, मैं नेहा के सवाल को ना थोड़ा कॉम्प्लिकेट कर रहा हूँ, लेकिन नेहा का थैंक यू कि उसने क्वेश्चन किया। देयर आर things and genes which expressed in specific parts of our body. In biology they are called as tissue specific gene expression. So tissue specific gene expression means there are certain genes which are required to be expressed in lungs only, there are certain genes which are required to be expressed in liver only, there are certain genes which are required to be expressed in eyes only, there are certain genes which are required to be expressed in the epithelial cells only. They are called tissue specific genes. So when you have put something into the genome, that will going to be expressed in every cell, and that is a disaster. If you are, for example, if you want to correct a gene and the job of the gene is in the liver only, it should be expressed in liver only, then why there is a need to express that gene in every other cell? You only want that gene to be expressed in the liver only. So that's a very good question. शाबाश। तो ये तो हमारे काम में गड़बड़ हो जाएगी। The people who are designing those cassettes, you know, we are free in sending things right within the genome. When you are creating those cassettes, you create those things, you write those things and instructions at that time. You write those things and instructions at that time. If you are putting your gene under the control of a universal promoter, a promoter which can express in under all circumstances, you know what will happen? that gene will going to be expressed in every single cell of the body. But what if you put that gene under the control of a promoter which can only be expressed in epithelial cells? So what will happen in this case? That gene will going to be part of every cell, but it will not be expressed in every cell. It will only be expressed in epithelial cells. That's the beauty. On the other hand, that we were talking, if you put the GFP, the green fluorescent protein, into the cells and make it tissue specific to the retina, to the eyes, make it tissue specific to the eyes only. That means every gene, every cell contains the same gene, but not every cell is expressing that gene. That gene will be expressed only in the eyes because it is under the control of a tissue specific promoter. So, and in that case, only the eyes, are fluorescently labeled. That's beautiful. Hope this answer. And that's a very special thing to understand, that life is not about having the genes. Life is about how we can control and regulate the function of the genes. It's wonderful. Shabash.